Hi everybody, it's Sally from Sally Stampers. Oh, excuse me, croaky throat this morning. I hope you're all well. Start of another new fantastic week and an amazing week, because this weekend I'm going to be going to on stage and I'm so excited. I truly can't wait. But we have a few days left of work before then, so I'm going to get to it and show you my super simple nugget trio. And it is just super simple, it truly is. So it is literally just a little book with 3 Hershey's nuggets inside. They're stuck on with a glue dot, so they're easy enough to get off. And it's just so simple. I don't know if you can see here, I've used those stitched rectangles. Just to add that little bit of detail there, and also to these two here, and just a little bow. But how cute is that? And how I would just be so pleased to receive that. And the thing is, it says life is sweeter with friends like you, so you can just give that to a friend just because. I have loads of these little clear cellophane bags left that I got. Oh, I can't remember now. I think it was eBay. It may have been Amazon. I honestly can't remember. I'm always buying stuff from both places. But these just fit so nicely just inside that you could seal it up and it retains its shape and just stays nice and clean for a friend. So I'll show you how simple it is to make. And I'm going to make it again in Daffodil Delight, simply because I don't want to use Cherry Cobbler. I think it's a bit dark. I know that that's my upline's favourite colour, but I'm going to just go with Daffodil Delight again and this beautiful double stitched ribbon. Again, also because I have a whole roll of it. So to start off with then, you're going to need your piece of cardstock and you're going to need your Big Shot. So let's wind this under. As you can see, my plates are extremely well loved. There's hardly any bend in this one, which is fantastic. This side is slightly less loved, but it is curving that way, so I'm going to stick with this way. Stick with it as it is. So here's my lovely Daffodil Delight, my stitched rectangles. So for the outer casing, you're going to need the largest rectangle. Will it fit that way? Oh, look at that. It's as if it was meant to be. So I'm going to pop that one on there. Then you want the smallest one for the Whisper White. So I'm going to just pop that down. And then the next one up for the layer. Okay, pop that down. So I'm going to stick that on as well. I don't know if you can see that. Look how close that is. It's literally on the edge. In the sense that my framelit just fits the card. Perfect. And that's my little one for layering. So I'm going to pop this on. Run this one through. Oh, crumbs. Oh, crumbs. Oh my goodness, that was too much effort this morning. Far too much effort. Right, let's just move this out of the way. Oh my goodness, it's too early for this game. Okay, so that's the one I need for my Whisper White, which I'm going to leave there. So there's my largest one. And as I said, as you can see, oh, it's not quite cut that piece properly. Let's take this one off. So that's for my layer. And then, okay, I'm just going to grab my scissors. I suspect that was the bang in it. It almost skipped over. But it is almost there, but I'm just going to ease it along with my scissors, I think. There we go, perfect. Let me just get rid of those little tiny bits there. Okay, so there is my stitched framelit. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to put this largest framelit out of the way. And I actually went with Detailed with Love because it's a stamp set that I haven't really used a great deal, but does have some really beautiful images. I actually went with the smallest flower, which is this one. So I'm just going to pop that on. And then again, Life is Sweeter with Friends Like You, which is this one, which I'm just going to stick on that one for now. Okay, so before I go any further, I obviously need to find the midpoint so that I can score. So I'm just going to grab my pencil And what I actually did was I measured the thickness of my chocolate bar, and this literally is, give or take, 1/2 inch. So what I did was I flipped my die cut over, and then just let me move my grid paper so that you can see how I'm doing this. So I literally went to the bottom of my grid paper and I placed my rectangle on, so it's literally 5 1/8, which is always annoying. Why do you have to have that extra 1/8? So what I did was I actually pushed it so that it was just over the 5 and just over the 1. So in effect, I now have a 5-inch rectangle. So obviously the midpoint for that would be 2.5. So to give me a 1/2 inch either side, I will need to go at 2 1/4 and 2 3/4, and that gives me a 1/2 inch right at the centre. Okay, then move all my bits out of the way. I need to just bring in my trimmer, and I simply made a very small score line to start with, where my pencil marks were, and then obviously I need to be scoring on the good side, so line that score line up and then just score them. Alternatively, you can score at 2 1/4 and 2 3/4, but I preferred to do it that way because I know my way works. And then before I fold and burnish these score lines, I'm going to do my stamping. So I have my Daffodil Delight ink pad, and like I said, I literally just randomly stamped all over, and I actually didn't stamp on, I was just checking, I didn't stamp on any of the other side, so I didn't stamp on technically what would be the spine or the back. I just did the bit I wanted. Okay, so while I've got my ink out, I'm going to stamp on my Whisper White with my sentiment. There we go. And then I'll just pop that ink away and just pop that to one side just for the moment. So fold and burnish this. And obviously if you want this to have a real good closure, you need to make sure these are really well burnished, and then it'll stay closed. Okay, so I'm just going to pop my 3 nuggets inside. So I've got my glue dots, and then I'm literally just sticking a glue dot on the back, eyeballing where the centre is and sticking it down. Hey, come on, stick. Thank you. Oh, that one's actually moved, but that's not a big problem. So I can just stick it back down again. And again, I actually got, I don't know why that's not sticking. Oh, it's because there's no glue dot on it. That'll be why. Oh dear, it's going to be one of those days. Okay, let's get this one stuck down. There we go. Now they're stuck. So there are my 3 nuggets sat nicely in the centre, and this just folds over. Again, if you need to just reimburse that score line just to make sure it closes. And then we've obviously got these beautiful little sentiments. So just grab my dimensional. So I'm just popping a couple on. Oh no, that's the front. That was very close. Heck, it is one of those days, isn't it? Oh dear. Okay, I'm sure you've all done that. Glued the wrong side or inked the wrong side. Oh dear. So I'm literally just sticking this lovely yellow rectangle on the front there. And then again with, remember that was the smallest one is for your sentiment, the second smallest is for that layer. So just move all my bits out of the way, bring this back in, and this actually just fits by the slightest. As you will notice when I bring it out, the rectangles are, oh that's not straight, the rectangles are actually on the last dots of the sentiments at the side. I'll show you in just a moment when this has gone through. So I'll pull that out, move this out of the way, and let's just pop this one out. So as you can see, the dots are just on the stitching, but it doesn't really make it look any different or unpleasant. And then again, just a couple of dimensionals on there. And then, oops, this can go on the centre of that one. And you could always leave it at that, but don't forget we have such beautiful coordinating ribbon that I'm going to pop this one on here. So get my little bow. There we have the bow, and then make it the size I want, which is not ridiculously large, and then trim the edges, and then I'm just going to add this with a glue dot onto the back. Make sure the glue dot's actually there this time, and then I just stuck it on the corner of the yellow layer, and then just play with that so it sits nicely. There we go, and there are my little super simple nugget trio that would be great to give a friend. I hope you like it, and I hope to see you all again soon. Bye!